Hello everybody, we got a super awesome video today, I think. What is going to actually happen? Well, there's something you should probably notice about the towers that I have. They're all really bad. I mean, a cannon's okay, a monkey village can't really do too much with that guy. And then super monkeys and wizards, which are like some of the worst towers in the game. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go full out cannons. Straight up only cannons. And a monkey village, which I think monkey village is fair because of course I need some sort of camo detection, and it's kind of just hard to get camo detection in general if you actually have to build a bunch of cannons. So I think that's kind of like a fair trade-off of having to use the monkey village instead of maybe a mortar or something else stupid that actually has camo detection. But I wanted to show you guys how surprisingly good cannons can actually be, even by themselves. Cannons are not extremely overpowered, but they're definitely a really good, awesome tower that I really like. They're one of my favorite towers, and I use them quite often. And you can actually, the good thing about the cannons is you can actually use them fairly good in pretty much any situation. Like, there's a different type of cannon for pretty much everything. You just got a bunch of 0-0 cannons, which 0-0 cannons are actually super duper helpful versus a bunch of random balloons in the beginning, and until you get to level 4, and then level 4 you really can't just sit there with a bunch of 0-0 cannons, even like 2 or 3 of them. You're not going to pop all those pinks or anything. So what you need to do is you need to start getting a 3-0 cannon. And another good thing about starting with the cannon is that you can get a bunch, not just a little bit, you can get a bunch of extra money in the beginning. You can just keep sending out balloons the entire time. You can pretty much hold down 1, hold down 2, all the way up to level 6, and get probably at least 400 in-game economy by level 6. If not even more than that. And what I was saying about the 3-0 cannon is that the 3-0 cannon does actually beat all the pinks, at least most of them. I mean, when I say beat the pinks, you know, I'm talking about not losing massive amounts of lives and actually making you lose the game. If you're making somebody send out pinks versus you, well, the smart thing to do is actually to send out lots and lots of blue balloons. So if they're not sending out lots and lots of blue balloons and they're sending out pinks instead, they're actually kind of hurting themselves in the long run because they're not getting in as much economy as they probably could. So, if you notice, my 3-0 cannon and my other few towers are actually there, and they can actually pretty much own everything. So how do you beat blacks with only cannons? Well, a lot of people don't really know about this, but you can actually get, well, first of all, 3-0 cannons in no way can pop blacks. 0-0 cannons in no way can pop blacks. There's only really 2 ways to do it, guys. There's either a 4-2 cannon, which pops all blacks really easily, but it's super duper expensive. It's $3,200 to get it. I mean, it's really overpowered and awesome. You know, by overpowered, I just mean awesome. You know, I don't really mean actually overpowered. But, maybe overpowered, I don't know. It depends on the person. Sometimes people say they're overpowered, and sometimes people say they aren't. I personally think they're a little bit on the overpowered side, but I'm fine with them. I don't think they're so crazily overpowered that they really need to be nerfed or anything. They're just one of the really good towers. That's the way I would consider it. So, the other way to pop blacks is actually with frag bombs. So if you notice, I have quite a bit of towers with frag bombs. And it's not that the cannon can actually pop the black balloons. If you notice I'm popping these black balloons, though. It's not that the cannon, the explosion itself, can pop the black balloons. It's the frags only. So, one frag bomb thingamabob probably can't beat them all, you know, like all the black balloons and all the zebra balloons. But, you know, 2 or 3 of them definitely can. And you know, if you wanted to, you could just like get frag bomb for a little while and then just sell your cannon. So I'm going to go over this just a little bit more in the next game, but I just want you guys to understand that you probably shouldn't try and survive forever. You're going to need to go for an attack. And I noticed his weakness, and that was he couldn't pop lead camos. So of course I just sent some lead camos out, and I sent them as regrows just because I could. And we actually beat him pretty easily with those guys. And then he got something to pop them. I don't know what even he got to pop them, but that's okay. We are victorious. Yay. And now I want to talk about something else really fast. So I have been a man of my word. Every single time I got 150 likes on any video, I was uploading a 30-minute commentary. 30-minute live commentary. And now, lately we've been slowing down a little bit. So I would just like to mention that if you guys do want those 30-minute live commentaries, all we gotta do is get 150 likes. I'll definitely keep that up for you guys if you keep it up for me. like I said, I'm really not like begging you for likes. If you don't like my videos, you don't have to click them. You don't have to watch them. You don't have to click the like button. But if you do like them and you want to make me happy and you want me to make me happy enough where I'm going to make more awesome videos for you guys, that's the way to do it. It's just like, it gives me something to work for. I work for getting you guys all to like my videos, and then if I ever get dislikes, it doesn't really discourage me as much, especially when I have like 150 likes or something like that. Or I mean not exactly 150 likes, but the more likes I have, the more happy I am and the more willing I am to make videos. And it makes me excited to make videos because it makes me excited to think that people are liking what I'm making. So now we actually have an easier level. Okay, I'm just going to kind of end with that. You know, hopefully you guys can understand by now. So now what we're working on is actually an easier level. We got the park here. And of course I got a 3-0 cannon pretty darn early here. I didn't go with 2 cannons to start off with like last time. And the reason why I did that is because this level was a bit on the longer side, and 3-0 cannons, it's a lot more like circular, like where the 3-0 cannon, like the entire explosion affects like the entire map. So the 3-0 cannon is just super duper duperly awesome in this on this map. So one other thing I wanted to mention about the 3-0 cannons, or cannons in general, is that I think you should really try to keep it on close and sometimes first. As far as targeting goes, you know, try and keep it on close. And the only reason that I really do that is because, first of all, if you put it somewhere in the middle of the map, close is just going to explode and explode like throughout the entire map, which makes sense. And also, it's not going to miss as much. So if you have a cannon that misses, if the explosion misses, it's not going to do its big cluster bomb explosion thing. So you never want a cannon to actually, or a cannonball, I guess. You never want the cannonball to actually miss. If it hits the balloons, it's going to subsequently pop balloons with the cluster bomb explosion, no matter what. But if you ever miss, and it does miss somewhat often if you leave it on first and you have fast balloons going by, like pinks and stuff, they can actually run right through. You would not expect it, but you'll miss quite a bit with the cannon. And I'm not saying it's going to miss every single time, but you're definitely going to miss less when you keep it on close. And obviously every little itty bitty bit of popping power helps. You know, when you lose 5 lives here and 8 lives there and 12 lives here, they add up and it kind of sucks. And now, of course, the first thing you want to do is as soon as level 6 pops around, yeah, you gotta watch out for level 6. When you're going full cannons like me, you gotta get the frag bombs up. So the way I did it was I got frag bombed on the right side over there, and that's because I'm assuming that he's going to send the blacks at me. I'm not too worried about the blacks coming at me from the regular AI balloons, quote unquote regular AI balloons. I'm just worried about him sending lots and lots of blacks at me. And what I did was with my targeting, as far as targeting goes, I put one of them on last and one of them on close. And it seems like it was doing fairly well. Obviously, one of those blacks got through, which is not a fantastic thing, but it's not detrimental to my strategy yet. If you notice how much money I actually have. Now, I had $5,000, and I noticed that he didn't have really too many towers. So what I did was I actually tried for a huge pink regrow rush. And I was honestly expecting to easily win with that rush. And guess what? I didn't. So I was like, oh crap, what am I gonna do? Well, he doesn't have any camo protection. Oh my god, camo, get up as fast as possible, go for the attack, pink rush. I'm just gonna sell everything and start attacking him. And that's how I actually win the game. So I kept up with a crazy attacks on him, and I was able to actually beat him because of those attacks. And honestly, I really thought those pink regrows were gonna get through. I was kind of surprising that they didn't. So now here we have somebody who's actually fairly good. We have somebody with 6,000 something battle score. Oh my goodness. Are we really just gonna go full cannons versus somebody with 6,000 plus battle score? Higher than me battle score? Yeah, we are. Full cannons, baby. With Monkey Village, of course. I have to add that in there just so people don't complain on my videos. In the comments, you'd be surprised how many people would be like, no, you didn't use just cannons, like you used a monkey village, like what's wrong with you, Chris? Oh god. And honestly, I'm just like, shut up, because you're stupid, because like, I feel like it's fair just to use a monkey village, because otherwise I couldn't get past level 12. I couldn't. Like, versus any reasonable player that understands that camo balloons can beat me. If there was like some random, like, if you got like a 0.3 cannon or something and it had camo detection, maybe I'd be like, okay, that's an understandable statement to not be able to use a Monkey Village. But the way it stands, Monkey Village is totally fair to me. So I'm sending out crap loads of balloons. Non-stop red balloons the entire time. And then what I decided to do was get cluster bombs. Now, as far as positioning goes, that's really not too unbelievably important exactly where you put your cluster bomb. Somewhere in the middle is definitely the best way to go. Like I said, you want your explosions to affect the entire map no matter what. So if you're attacking the closest balloons, the explosions are never going to go off the screen and they're going to hit pretty much everything. And you won't miss as much. So, fantastic. And we're still sending out lots and lots of balloons. If you notice, my in-game economy is actually pretty darn high already. Now, the one thing that I have been doing with my in-game economy is that I haven't actually been going too high with it. So, normally on these types of levels, you know, I go for like 1,000 or something ridiculously high, you know. Usually, I've gone 1,500 plus before, like level 16 or 18 or something like that. Now, it doesn't happen every single game, and sometimes I kind of get lucky with long rounds and random things like that, but I've actually been stopping with my cannons at roughly like 400. Roughly 400, and that's right about 2 minutes. So, normally I say like 2.5 minutes or so, but I really need to get a couple sets of frag bombs up. Otherwise, on level 6, they'll just start sending out a bunch of blacks, and the blacks will get right through my defense. So, frag bombs. What should you target with frag bombs? Well, frag bombs kind of depends where you put them, but honestly, just either close, maybe strong. Do you want to pop the black balloons, and usually the black balloons are the strongest, or the zebras. So either strong or first is probably your best bet. So one black did leak, which is not very good, but you know, it's not detrimental. It's not like, oh god, I'm gonna lose my game because of that one black balloon. And in fact, I just get a couple more frag bombs. That'll pretty much limit how many balloons get through. As far as upgrades go, let's talk about the upgrades for the cannon. We got a little while for the video, and obviously this is not a live commentary, just in case you guys wanted to know. This is not a live commentary, but let's go over the cannon upgrades really fast. So what kind of cannon upgrades are there? There's a 1-0 cannon, which is just a range upgrade. There's a 2-0 cannon, which is frag bombs. Frag bombs are really good versus, first of all, ceramics, and second of all, they can pop black balloons, so they're pretty much important to the strategy. And then you have 3-0 cannon, which pretty much explodes everything. They're my favorite type of cannon. Cluster bombs are just fantastic. You know, there's really no way to go wrong with them besides not being able to pop black balloons. But obviously, you need a weakness to them. And 4-2 cannons are extremely expensive, but they are super unbelievably awesome. I do recommend getting 4-2 cannons pretty much whenever you can. Now, as far as the upgrades on the right side go, you first of all have bigger bombs, which is the 0-1 upgrade. I don't recommend getting the 0-1 upgrade, especially in battles by itself. I think 3-0 cannon first, and then you can start getting the upgrades on the right side. So, yeah, get the upgrades on the right side pretty much after you get a cluster bomb. And the cluster bomb will actually, like, get exponentially better, I guess you could say. I guess that's not really the best way to put it, but it gets exponentially better because of the next 2 upgrades. So getting the cluster bomb, getting like the 2 upgrades on the right side by themselves are like okay, but if you get cluster bombs first and then get the right sided upgrades, they're a lot better. They mean a lot more. So I have to, of course, get my camo detection up. So I get my camo detection for level 12, and I'm able to stop some of these balloons from getting through and some of those camo balloons. But now if you sent like a huge rush at me, I might lose, depending on how it works. But let's get back to the cannons here. Now if you get the second upgrade on the right, the missile launcher is extremely helpful. It makes you miss a lot less, and it makes you shoot faster, and it gives you more range. So it's like a trifecta of awesomeness, I suppose. And then once you get to the other side, there's Moab Maulers, which I think you guys understand. Moab Maulers are good versus Moabs, and that's about it. They can pop some balloons, but they're mainly made for Moabs. And one thing about the Moab Maulers is if you're going to get Moab Maulers, don't get a 0-3, get a 2-3. And you know, it's kind of hard to explain, like I said, but just trust me on that. Frag bombs help out so much versus the Moabs, you would probably not even understand. So now we're sending out ceramics versus me, and you might think ceramics are actually going to beat, but frag bombs, like I said, are good versus ceramics. So your frags pop the ceramics, and then your 4-2 cannon, it just cleans up the rest. So those regrow ceramics couldn't do anything versus me, so we're actually getting really far with just cannons. Kind of unexpected, you know? Most people probably wouldn't think you can get far with just cannons, but I think it definitely isn't, not an easy thing to do, but not a super duper hard thing to do, especially on like maps like this, like Rally or something. So now what are we gonna notice about his side of the screen? Well, his side of the screen, I really can't beat him right now. I mean, I could send out some ceramics or something like that, but I'd rather not take the chance. So I'm just gonna take my time here, wait for the Moabs, and hopefully I can beat him with Moabs. At least that's the plan. As far as my defense goes, I can go with two different things. I could either start spending my money and buy Moab Maulers and actually survive. I could beat level 18. I probably could beat level 20. Maybe. Maybe, depending on what he sends. But I think the better way to go is to actually go for an attack on round 18. Save up your money, don't waste on Moab Maulers. They're kind of expensive, and just go for a really nice attack. And another reason why I'm doing that is actually because my in-game economy is kind of low. It's only 400. So level 18, send out a Moab as fast as possible. You want to be the first one to send that Moab out. And then guess what I did, guys? Regrow ceramics. So I sent out a huge regrow ceramic rush. It does not look like he can be able to beat that. And if he does actually take that out, I think the Moab will still get through. And would you look at that? All those regrow balloons just run right through his defense. And we actually do win the game. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a fantastic day.